just did a little montage, but welcome back to my channel. We're going to do a full day of eating today and have some nutrition tips. So, making my coffee, it's done. And I heated up my milk. So our coffee is a Ninja Lux. It grinds the beans and then makes the coffee. You can do espresso, you can do iced coffee. But the steamer, it has a steamer thing on it, but it heats the milk, but it doesn't froth it. So something's wrong with that frothing element. We have it on warranty, so I'm gonna at some point contact Ninja. But this does the trick. So I just heated my milk with, so it's almond milk with some sugar-free caramel syrup that's sugar-free. And I will then, so this is 70 mils of almond milk. So it's a little bit under a quarter of a cup. So it's, like, what, 7 calories worth of almond milk. But I track it. And stick it in there. Then, and the best thing in the morning is always that first sip. So, you know what I read? That the milk, frothing your milk, it's meant to cool down your coffee. Like having the frothed milk on top. I mean, I thought it was just because it tastes good, but that's so yummy. Okay, I really have a milk mustache. And now, I have some room for the rest of my milk. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to do my creamy. So I typically just do, put the almond milk away. I typically just do almond milk protein powder. But I'm going to do almond milk, protein powder, and yogurt because I have some yogurt. I just want to, it needs to get used up. So I'm going to do 250. I'm going to make 2 of them. I'm going to do 250 mils of milk. I'm going to do a scoop of this chocolate fudge by Rule 1. I like Rule 1's flavors. And I do typically weigh it out because a scoop, like a serving is 35 grams, and like I'm going to test this out. So this looks like, I mean, that looks like a scoop, right? Like, I mean, it's level. That's 30, just barely 32 grams. So that's 3 grams shy. And I want it all. If I'm tracking it as a scoop, I want to eat a full scoop. Okay, no particular order. I mean, I always do the milk first because I feel like if you do the protein powder at the bottom, I don't measure the salt. I mean, it's still on the scale, but I put salt because sweetie and salt, salty and sweet. I mean, you're supposed to always put salt in your chocolate chip cookie recipe. I put salt on everything. I put salt on oatmeal. I put salt on, name something, I put salt on it. So now I think I'm going to do about 100 of the yogurt. And like I said, I don't usually do yogurt in it. Maybe, I don't know. So I'm going to do 100 in each. Okay. Then I'm going to do a syrup. If I had like a chocolate one, I have like chocolate caramel, but I want this to be like chocolate. So I'm just going to add vanilla just for sweetness. Nice. You got to add more of this than you think you need to. Are you all ready? Okay, you want some breakfast? Okay. And then I'm going to do about maybe a serving of cocoa powder. Lulu's getting ready to go to camp today, so she's going to have some breakfast here. So I'm going to do half a serving. So I'm going to do like 2 grams of cocoa powder. Okay. Awesome. Just for some extra chocolate flavor. Then I'm going to mix this up, put it in the freezer. I'll eat one tonight, and one will be for another night. Okay, there we are. I am ready to make my first meal. So I did something today that I don't often do, nor do I recommend. It is not, the best option when you're trying to build muscle, but I went to the gym fasted. So Lulu got off to camp. Why is it? Oh, okay. It was telling me it was detecting my face. This is my face. So Lulu got off to camp. I went for a quick walk with my coffee, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna go now. So my normal, kind of summertime routine. If you're new here, I'm a professor. I'm also a health coach, so I do that year round. I'm actually a professor here. I'm actually teaching a class right now, but it's online, so I'm not going to campus. So my kind of summertime routine is do some client work or grade assignments or, do some work in the morning, eat, push out eating till 10 or 11, and then go to the gym and then eat my post-workout, which is sort of like lunch around 2 or 3-ish. And then dinner and then my creamy. So I've been eating 4 meals. When I'm with my coach, I'll start back up with my coach soon, and he does a meal plan for me, and I'll do 5 meals. But right now, I'm kind of putting myself through I've been putting myself kind of through a little mini cut. Sometimes I'll do 5 meals, but 4 has been working better for me just because, like I said, that schedule that I'm doing for myself. And here I'm just, so I measured out my oats, and I use, so this is normally my pre-workout meal, but today it's going to be my post-workout, but I love it. So this is Bob's Red Mill gluten-free oats. So I am gluten-free. Oats, are not a food source that is wheat-based, but there's a lot of cross-contamination. And I'm not one that's when I go to a restaurant, I have to have no, I'm not cross-contamination hyper focused. I can go to a restaurant and get something that's gluten-free, that's cooked alongside, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not super, I don't have celiac or anything. However, if I don't get gluten-free oats, it causes issues. So there's just certain things that I can do and certain things that I can't. I've been gluten-free since I had my son, and he's going to be 22. So this isn't a fad. This isn't me trying to eliminate a food group because I think it's better for me. In fact, when I go to Italy, I can eat all the things. I can have cannolis, I can have pasta, I can have pizza. Just something about the wheat in the United States. So, which makes sense then, because there is a lot of cross-contamination with oatmeal. That's why you'll find specific gluten-free oats. Anyway, so I'm making oatmeal, and then I'm cracking egg whites into a bowl because I'm going to use mostly egg whites and then 1 whole egg. I've done the carton egg whites before. Again, I seem very high maintenance with my food choices. Okay, maybe I am, but I can't. I wish I could do the cartons because it's easier. I'm not sure if it's more cost efficient. I've never really figured that out. I actually did a post last week for my clients with the most expensive to least expensive protein sources. Egg whites are the most expensive protein source, more expensive than salmon or shrimp or something. The least expensive is whey protein powder. Anyways, okay, that was a side tangent. So I'm gonna cook my egg whites and my oats, put blueberries on top. But what I was saying about fasted training, so here I'm warming up my cast iron skillet. Don't use a nonstick skillet. Get a good cast iron. That nonstick stuff is junk. And I spray it. And I will microwave my oats, cook my egg whites, but fasted training. Yeah, so anyways, I got Lulu off to camp. And I'm like, you know, I really just want to go do my workout, and I'm going to work later because I have to pick her up from camp at like 3:30. So if I normally would go to the gym around like 11 or noon, like I get done at like 2-ish, and then gym is closer to camp, but I would have to come home, you know, so it's just a whole thing. So I'm like, you know, I'm just going to go train fasted. It's fine. And it is fine. I'm eating right now. We're going to make it. I'll show you what it looks like. But yeah, I'm really hungry. I'm having trouble focusing on what I'm saying, but got some more water. I'm going to take my supplements. I'll show you that later too. But okay, so my eggs are still cooking. My oats are done. Here's a little hack that I do. I use my frozen blueberries. I'm going to do about 75. 75 on the dot. Then, while my eggs are still cooking, so I've got my cooked oats, frozen blueberries, I put my plate that I'm going to put my eggs on top. It kind of defrosts the blueberries. It lets the oats steep a little bit. And by the time the eggs are done, it's just like perfect. So, all right, here's another quick thing about fasted training. So I know I can still push myself in the gym even if I am fasted. Like I still had 5 personal bests today. So it doesn't, and sometimes it actually makes me feel kind of like a little leaner. Like I don't know why I said that. Not leaner. Like I don't feel like full from my food. So I don't know, lighter. That's what I meant, lighter. Like, so I feel like I can just, I don't know, sometimes I actually like how I feel when I'm fasted. So yeah, but I don't normally do that. Okay, so my eggs are done. So I did 195 grams of egg whites. I'm going to put some salt and pepper on it. This Melinda's truffle hot sauce. If you've never tried this, you are missing out. I have 2 extras in the pantry right now. And I'm going to put some cinnamon. So here's how my oats turned out with the blueberries. Okay, I'm obviously just getting the hang of this camera, so I'm trying something out. So I just was trying to turn off the auto detect and see if that would work. So here's my blueberries on top of my oats, my egg whites, and 1 whole egg that I just kind of mix in. More water. I'll be back. All right, we just ate, and I am going to fill up my supplement container because I just took the last day. So I'll just talk through what I am. I was trying to find my face. Thank you. So I will talk you through what I take. So fish oil, vitamin C. These are what I take during the day. A B complex, D and K. So vitamin D, most people are vitamin D deficient, and you should have one that has it with K. You should also take this in the morning because your body almost treats it kind of like as a hormone. And take it with something with some fat. So my fat source was my egg. And then I take NAC. And I take niacin. So this is for like heart health. I have high cholesterol, like familial high cholesterol. Nothing my doctor's worried about. My ratio is good. My HDL is good. My triglycerides are good. I just have high cholesterol. And then mag citrate. So this is actually I take at night. So I'm going to fill my container up. Again, everything, all of those I take during the day except the magnesium citrate. I take this at night. I also take another dose of vitamin C at night. So I'm going to fill those up. The only thing I'm out of that I usually take is a multivitamin. And when I take the multivitamin, I don't take this B12 complex because this particular B12 complex actually has, I mean, obviously lots of different B vitamins in it. And when I take my multivitamin, that's covered. So some of the holes that I have right now is like calcium,
I mean, obviously a few other things, but mostly calcium would be in a multivitamin that I'm not already including with some of the other things that I've got covered. I'm sure there's something else. But I do need to get another multivitamin. But if I take my multi, I don't take this vitamin B complex because that's kind of just like overdoing the B vitamins. So I'm going to fill these containers up. So I have one for morning and one for night. And yeah, so that's what we're going to get up to next. And then after that, I think I'm going to make an iced decaf coffee, do some work. It's raining. It's like super gross out today, but it doesn't really matter to me because I've got some work to do and I want to do some cleaning, just some stuff around the house, you know. So I'm going to get going on this, and yeah, I'll be back. I'll show you my iced coffee. Okay, I have my coffee that I just brewed. So I use the setting that's over ice. However, you never want to actually pour your coffee over ice because you are not trying to cool down. No, you're not trying to heat up the ice. You're trying to cool down your coffee. So you always add the ice to the coffee. So I brewed it in this, but I'm going to drink it out of this. I like drinking cold coffee out of glass, hot coffee out of like a traditional mug. I'm gonna go in with the pistachio sugar-free syrup. And then I'm gonna add my coffee. So I do syrup, then the coffee. I don't weigh out I've got it on the scale, but I don't weigh out my coffee. So when you do it like the over ice setting, basically just makes it more concentrated. Okay, and then I'm gonna add my ice. This is why it's on a scale, because I weigh out my creamer. So this is the Italian sweet cream, 0 sugar. So yeah, I use sugar-free stuff. I mean, whatever. I don't use a ton, but a couple times a day. So I just do 1 serving, so that's 15 mils, and it's enough. There we go. And it's beautiful. Look at that. Then I get my straw. I'll probably add some more ice to it. But just a little treat. Oh, that is so yummy. Oh, and that is enough. But if you don't measure out your creamer, I mean, you could easily go way overboard. But it's like pistachio Italian. That is totally Italian. Pistachio and Italian sweet cream. What an Italian vibe I've got going on. All right, I'm gonna get some work done. All right, I have got my lunch here. So I have my already prepped turkey, ground turkey that I mixed with some cauliflower rice on top of some kale and butter lettuce, cucumber, tomato. Topped it with some GQ sweet chili sauce. And then I have a little wrap here. That's this bee-free, gluten-free wrap with, I'm going to put some of this avocado on the wrap and kind of just eat it all together. So this is going to be lunch. Already was meal prepped the turkey. Just had to warm it up in the pan with the cauliflower rice. And yeah, about to dig in. Okay, so we'll do a little sit down here. I am very like oatmeal-y right now. My hair, my sweatshirt. So we're getting ready to go out for a happy hour, and we're meeting my dad and my stepmom. We're leaving for Italy this weekend, and they are going to be watching Lulu for most of the time that we're gone. So we're just doing a little like happy hour to kind of go over schedule and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about drinking alcohol and still, you know, having fitness goals. So you can do both. However, alcohol is not a health food. I am not advocating to drink alcohol at all. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. But if you are someone that enjoys a beverage or two, personally, I maybe have 2 a week. Maybe on like maybe Saturday and Sunday, or maybe Friday and Saturday, or today's Wednesday, so I'll probably do Wednesday and Saturday. I don't know, right? Like I don't like plan it out. It I can take it or leave it. So, but we're going out for happy hour tonight, and I'm gonna have one cocktail, and I track my nutrition, so I track it. So if you're someone that tracks your food, you have to make sure that you're tracking it the right way. If you just put in Coors Light in MyFitnessPal, I guarantee the entry that comes up isn't going to be accurate. It's probably going to have calories. It's not going to account those calories for macro targets. So if you're just counting calories, that's fine. But I count my macros because I want to have certain macro targets that I hit. So I count the alcohol as either a carb or a fat. Alcohol is actually its own macro. It has 7 calories per gram, but it doesn't provide any nutritional value or anything like that, obviously. And you can't count it as a protein because protein is, we need to not like, oh, I'll just drink vodka and not eat my chicken and egg whites. No. But you can count it as a carb or a fat, but it still has, it's still going to affect your progress. One, it might make you make bad choices it might make you fall off of your plan nutritionally. Like you have a couple beverages and then you're like, oh yeah, who cares? I'll just get the nachos and the fries and let's stop for ice cream also. It can impair your sleep, so you're not recovering. It actually, your body, okay, just pause there for a second. Your body treats it as a toxin, so anything that you eat with the alcoholic beverage, that alcohol, your body wants to process that first. So, kind of getting into the nitty gritty here, probably too many details, but if you are eating, let's say something really high in fat, which we typically might if we're drinking alcohol, like pizza, burgers, fries, things like that, chicken tenders, you name it. Your body wants to process that alcohol first. So any extra calories that you eat are going to be more readily stored as fat. Now, if you're still under your calorie targets and you're consuming alcohol, theoretically, you should still be making the same progress because it's kind of an equation of calories in, calories out. But it does affect how your body metabolizes other foods. So that's why, I definitely don't advocate for drinking every day. I definitely don't advocate for binge drinking. I mean, for other reasons, obviously, as well. But 1 or 2 beverages a week, if you're tracking it and you're still within your calorie targets, I think is completely reasonable and fine. So I'll track it either as a carb or a fat, or most likely as a combination thereof. But you need to make sure that you're accounting for the calories that are in the beverage and then using fat or carbs macros to, deduct from your total daily intake. So if something's 100 calories, that's going to be 25 carbs or like 9 grams of fat, because carbs have 4 calories a gram, fat has 9 calories a gram. I believe I have a whole video on tracking alcohol, so this is kind of a quick little, I guess, overview of it. But yes, in moderation. Like, in moderation doesn't mean 1 glass a day, at least I don't think. But you know what? I used to be that person. I will admit, I used to have like a glass of wine most nights of the week. Um, I I don't do that anymore. Um, I don't I don't judge people if they're doing that. Obviously I don't want someone to make bad choices and obviously, drive and things like that. But I used to have like a glass of wine every night with dinner, and I just don't do that anymore. I just, like I said, I can take it or leave it, and I just was doing it like every night just because kind of got into the routine of it. And I do enjoy cocktails, but now, I guess this was before I was more into bodybuilding and competing and stuff. I'd rather use my calories on food that will help me reach my goals. Okay, quick little voiceover here. Here is the cocktail that I got. This is a yummy cocktail. That's a gin-based cocktail. And then came home and had dinner. So I had some sweet potato fries in the air fryer, sauteed up some zucchini and summer squash, and made a big salad with some already prepped chicken. And this was so yummy. That's some sugar-free ketchup on the side there for my sweet potatoes, and there is the barbecue sauce that I put on top of the salad. So super yummy and easy if you plan ahead. And then to finish off the night, here is that creamy that I made. It was so delicious. 2 caramel rice cakes with some mixed nut butter from Costco, some whipped cream on top, and that's how I finished out my day. Good morning. It's now Friday, June 19th. Happy Juneteenth. Um, we finally have a gorgeous day here. It's been so crappy in Michigan. I'm just sipping on some electrolyte EAAs. This is like a lemon flavor from Metabolic Nutrition. I don't have like one supplement company that I get everything from. I like different things from different companies. I like the glutamine from Metabolic Nutrition and the EAAs. I like Rural One's protein powder. And I guess that's really all I use. I don't get like, sometimes I'll use like a non-stim pre-workout, and I can't think of one like right now that I like love more than others. But anyways, I just thought I'd close out the video here. Hope you enjoyed this full day of eating. This is very typical for how I eat. And with the exception of, like I said, I typically eat before I train, and then that lunch would be kind of like my post-workout. And then when I'm more like focused on being in prep and stuff, I'll eat 5 meals. But I hope you enjoyed it and got some tips and tricks on different things. So I should have my mic on. Sorry, it's trash day. The next video will probably be from Italy, and I am not tracking in Italy. I sometimes track when I'm on vacation. If I'm on a work trip, I'm going to track. If I'm on a trip where we have like a condo and I'm eating, maybe breakfast, maybe even possibly lunch in the condo. Just a second, let me take a sip. This is your reminder. If you haven't had a sip of water, take a sip with an ice cube. I will track on those types of trips, or loosely track. But when I'm in Italy, I am not going to track. But I still go in with a plan. So my plan is to not track and just enjoy what I want to enjoy. But I still know that I'm going to feel best if I have protein at every meal. And I typically will kind of, I'm not into like pastries and things like that at breakfast time. So at breakfast, I'll typically do like an egg white omelet with all the veggies, just to make sure I'm getting lots of veggies in and lots of protein to start my day. And so I kind of keep breakfast a little bit just like mostly like protein and produce. Lunch and dinner, it just depends, what restaurant we're at. Breakfast is usually at the hotel, where they have like a huge buffet spread, but they'll also do like cook to order omelets. And yeah, but I focus on protein at every single meal. The good thing, in Italy, you have multi courses, so you can get different protein options for a couple different courses. So maybe I'll do like tuna or octopus as my appetizer, and then even if I'm doing a pasta for my main, it will have some protein in it. So yeah, that's the only exception maybe would be when I get pizza. So last time we were in Italy, we went for like 2 weeks, same this time. I think I got pizza twice, and just because I don't eat red meat. Actually, one time I did get tuna on pizza, and I'm like, no. And I like anchovy flavor, but I don't like anchovies on pizza. So that's really the only exception where I won't have like a true protein source. I mean, cheese has protein in it. It's a dairy product, obviously, that has protein, but that's probably the only time that I'll get something that's not protein focused. But yeah, I'll eat the cannolis, I'll drink the Negronis, I'll drink the wine, and yeah, I'm not worried about my progress or anything while I'm there, because I know that when I go on vacation, I typically come back weighing the same that I did when I left, just because you're more active and you know, I don't know, maybe stress is lower, who knows, but I'm not worried about it at all. So I will take my camera along and film, I don't know, whatever I decide to do. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Um, yeah, I share this content just because I hope maybe like at least one or two people get a tip or two, and then I've done my job. Also, my cookbook is now in the final publishing stages. So I'm going to insert a picture here of the cover. Make sure you stay tuned for that and have a great day. Cheers.